I'm still going to debate you on this one because I like what you're saying because I think that that's what we want to do. And especially here in the United States, it's do everything. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my phenoms because I like going, because I go in and I go interview all these different kids that are successful at sports. The last kid that was here in Frisco, his name is VJ. This little kid's a basketball player. 6'2", the kid's amazing. He's the number one kid.
How tall is he? 6'2"? How old is he?
He's in the 8th grade.
Okay, so he had no other option: basketball or volleyball. Those were his two options at 6'2". Rich is laughing because Rich is like pretty much.
Okay, hold on a second. So
let me be a phenom in something. How about basketball or volleyball? There you go.
Not it.
I've been spending time in the dojo, doing all the things that they won't show. No spotlights on me, no photos, becoming the king on the low level.
Let's I wanted to talk about I think some topics today. Like one of them for me was kind of Rich brought this up. Let's check in. Let's see how everyone's doing.
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on live?
What have you experienced?
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah, how was the weekend?
Something good, something bad, something to bring to the table to.
I got a lot.
Chop up. So
go figure.
I need a therapy.
Bobby's like
session.
a walking soap opera.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, I need a therapy.
Days of Our
session.
Lives. Which one are you? Huh?
It's everything.
All My Children.
Everything.
As the world turns.
As the world turns. All My Children.
Man, I tell you, I want to. It's we want everything, but at the same time, we want a simple life. And I was going to ask you guys. I saw somebody said it. I forget. It was one of the political rants that somebody was going on, and he talked about. He said, "You know what? What we really need in this world is a 2-parent household." And it made me feel like, oh, I'm a loser, because I'm not. I don't have that. But at the same time, man, it's so important. Even when I just came in and you were like, oh, yeah, we moved the bench over here and everything like that. I saw that as a project that you and your wife were doing. Mm-hmm. I saw that as a project that your wife was doing and you were just kind of moving stuff around.
Whoa.
Because I know you can't do anything. So.
Wow.
But...
you can't make any decisions. Ask Rich. You can't make any decisions without her approval. Hold the picture here. Okay, a little bit left, a little bit right. No, take it down. New picture. Hold a little bit right. No, a little bit this way, a little bit. Next, your back and shoulders are blown up. And that whole thing is real.
But you have a team. You have a team. It's easy
No. You have a dictator at the top, which is the wife, and then you're the peasant down the bottom. That's really what it is.
Yeah, if you want to call that a team,
yeah.
I guess. So.
I don't know if that word "team" means what you think it means, because
I guess the grass. You always think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence.
You always,
but you can't beat yourself up over that, man.
Well, I look at it because, even this morning I came late, and I was like, I got up and I was like,
no surprise,
this
by
morning,
the way. Ladies and gentlemen, no surprise.
Sometimes. And so when I got up, I was like, man, damn, I got up a little slow, and I was like, I really want to sleep in just for a little bit. And then I started getting up, and then I was like, I got to do this. I got laundry over here. I got to go inside here. I got to try to make some breakfast really quick. I got to go do this. And it was like all these different things, and it's always like that when I wake up. It's like, damn, I have so many different pieces to put together. So it's like I'm constantly trying to find help. So I'm on care.com and then I got a housekeeper and all these different things like that. And it just seems like so much because now I have different things going on with my kids.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why does it feel like you need help? You're saying you need help for everything that every other person does without needing help. I'm just asking you. And I love you. I swear to God. I'm just asking, why? Does it feel like you're overwhelmed? Is it a one person thing? Because even though I have someone helping me, I still feel like I can get up and do the laundry. Still feel like I can get up and do the dishes. Still feel like I can clean the house. It may not be perfect every day, but I also do a thing with my kids where we just do 20 minutes a day. Say, hey, we get 20 minutes. I don't care if the whole room is clean. If you can only clean your bathroom in 20 minutes, that's all we do today. I'll take it because it's not you got to remember tomorrow the house is still going to be dirty.
Right.
Then the next day it's going to get dirty again every day. So if you think you're going to crush it all in one day, you're really just killing yourself. Little pieces at a time. That's it.
Okay. Well, I feel there was a term that was used before that I like. It was like brushing your teeth while eating Oreos. And that's what I feel like I've been doing a lot. It doesn't matter what I start to get done. It's like something else and something else and something else. I feel like a one-man army a lot of times. And it's sometimes it's overwhelming. Like even like say you had a kid in sport here and a kid in sport over here.
That's the difficult part.
And you had all these different things. Now I have my kid's mom that's still in the picture, and she's very active with my kids, super active with them. But it just feels like I feel like I'm pulled in a million different ways. Like every day it seems like I have 75 things to do. And then some days I'm like, all right, I'm not doing anything. And then I sit back, and then if I don't do it, then I get up and it's like, all right, damn, the dishes are full now. I'm eating Uber Eats like 3 times a day right now with my kids. I mean, it's constant because I'm like, is it worth spending the time to go over here and try to cook something and get it done? It's overwhelming. It's always overwhelming to me. So I can kind of see where he was saying, so the person that was the political rant that he was going on, he was saying, that's what we need to get back to, is that 2-person or 2-parent household. I think that there's something to that. I mean, I'm not saying that if you don't have that, it's a failure, but it's hard, man.
Well, I think there is 100% some truth there. A 2-person household is obviously way better than one. But that being said, I don't think we should be instilling in people that it needs to happen. You should force it to happen. If it's not there, it's not there. I think that's the if we were gonna, not without getting political, conservatives have this tendency to say like, well, you should fight through it and you should do whatever you can for your marriage. Yes, you should. But there's a lot of times where shit just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so no reason to keep fighting for that. If your husband's beating you or your wife is beating you, okay, like that's not something you should be trying to hold on to. It's not there. Like, the best thing for the kids and the best thing for you specifically, whoever it is, the male or the female, is to get out. Now I know I can't imagine that's easy. I can't.
Right.
But I mean, it sounds like you're like, man, I'm overwhelmed, and I get it. I can understand. But it's also too, like, don't go forcing something that's not there.
Yeah. I think it's every, it's just day to day. Like today, it just felt overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow it might feel completely different, but today it felt overwhelming because I'm trying to get a lot done. I have so many different projects and so many different things going. It's like I can't get anything done because it's me. I have my business manager, my assistant that works with me, and she's fantastic on helping it. But when she came in at first, she was just like, holy cow. It took her for like the first almost month just to bring everything in. Even with my car, she was like, all right, you got to get your toll tags on your car. Mm-hmm. And then we were trying to figure out toll tags. I had my truck plates on my car plates on my truck, toll tags, and everything was like, she was like, oh my goodness. She was going through and just like putting things together. And I was just like, yeah, I just been busy so much that it seems like once, because I'm big on, if something is, if I run into an obstacle, I'm like, all right, leave that, go over here. Then I go here, and then it's like, so I have all these.
Here's the thing: there's always something. There always is, but to your credit, man, the kids seem to be thriving. Is there anything more important? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. They're in a good place, right?
Yeah.
So I would say focus on that to help you get through, when you're in your own head too much sometimes, maybe.
Well, I think
the most important thing in your life is in place and doing well, and that's your kids. So all the other things, because I'll tell you from even in a 2-parent household, there's always something.
Yeah.
There's all these little things. There's always something that needs to be done with the home that you've been putting off, that you've wanted to do, right? There's still boxes in here.
By the way, this is my house. This is my house.
But I get it. Like, I don't judge. I'm just like, yeah.
It's been a year and a half. Like. I lived in Texas. There's still boxes in the front living room.
There's always something.
There is no artwork except for in this room. This is only for this podcast, by the way. I haven't hung up any artwork in the house. But to go ahead.
So F it, man. Like, the kids are good. They're happy. No one cares about you, Bobby. The kids. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's very important that you are in a good place and feeling good, but because you're the leader, you're the head of the household. I mean, that's the thing we try to stress here, right? We have to be on point.
Yeah.
To help raise these kids, but you're doing a great job. The kids are thriving, so maybe there's some things that are unorganized, or if the dishes are piled up. I think because I get like that too, and then I need to readjust and take a look at what's most important, because my OCD will get the best of me, and I'll start stressing over these things that in the end of the day don't matter. But your kids are doing great, so.
I never realized how OCD he was until I went to his house last year. And this guy couldn't sit down because he was just following people around, cleaning up after him. And I thought I was bad when people come to my house. And this dude's just like, okay, let me grab your plate for you. Wipe it underneath. We move it over here. But I had never seen that side of him before. And we've been friends for a long, long time. Kids have played together, been over
But then
house.
some days it's chill. Like, let's just let it get messy. But I don't know. I get, that's what I mean. I get in those moods too, where I'm like, I got to fix or clean something.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be a certain way.
You know, I think it was important. So when you guys first came down here and we all got together, we were eating breakfast and stuff like that. We were meeting in the mornings and stuff. I think, and then that led to us doing this podcast. I think it was a big thing for kind of guys, because guys never have the opportunity to be able to talk about things like this, because it's always like mom's group, mom this, mom that. But dads are, you know, that's like the biggest problem with guys right now is stress. Like, we deal with stress all the time, and we're not supposed to be able to talk about it. We're supposed to be able to keep it in, because we got to be the backbone of everyone. And that's how I feel at times. Like, everybody relies on me, you know, even I have a daughter in college over here. I got, you know, if you have an ex, you get child support. You have to make sure that things are taken care of over there. You have to make sure she's okay. You have to make sure your kid's okay. Like, you're in charge of so much, and then you got to go to work, and then you got to do that and everything like that. So I think at times, just to know that, all right, it's all right. Just to even hear it at times, it kind of like lets that little stress cap off, and you can just kind of let it out. Because this morning I was just like I got to fly out today. I got to fly out at 6.
Mm-hmm.
I got to run. I have my boots being worked on. I got my gear ready. I haven't wrestled in like 6 months. So people are, oh, what's Bobby? Is he going to be ready? Is he, you know, I got all these things that are just pressing on me. Yeah. But then I'm like, man, I want to clean up my house, because I don't like coming home to a dirty house. And I got to fly out today, work tomorrow, back Thursday, fly out Friday, work Saturday, come back. And it's everything was like, boom, just kind of overwhelming on me. And I was just like, oh. And then another thing, when we kind of focused back on our kids, there was something that I was trying to make a big decision on. I think we talked about it a little bit before, but my son's so into football. Like, he loves football. Like, Saturday, Sundays, football. Everything about him is football. Mm-hmm. All he loves is football. Well, he started wrestling last year. He was on varsity, did okay, but I mean, he's just getting into wrestling, so he's just kind of getting his feet wet. Sophomore year, this year, it's like, now we're trying to make a big decision there. There was another thing that was kind of thrown at me. We're trying to make a decision there because football season just went over. He had a great year, but he played junior varsity. Next year is his junior year. So if you're playing football, it's like, if you want to make football your thing, we got to take it to that next level. So we were trying to make a decision. Is it important for him to wrestle, or just take wrestling season off and get a trainer and really hone in on that football so he can be ready for it next year?
Did you play football at all when you were younger?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think your wrestling helped you at all in how to tackle, how to control body space, how to close the distance and covering the distance for tackling? You think any of that?
No, because I quit. I quit football because of wrestling.
So
Okay.
you
that makes
chose-
sense, though.
And
You
the
chose
reason-
one.
here's the reason. Because with wrestling, my son's not in one of the bigger weights. So if he's at one of those weights that it's probably better for him to cut a little bit to be competitive.
Oh, for wrestling.
Yes. So we're looking at 3 months of him cutting weight. I mean, it's not like big time cut weight, but it's like he's weighing about 145 right now. It would be better for him to come in football season next year at 175, 180 or something like that.
So
and really
why? It's already kind of been proven over the last probably 4 years of just MMA fighters as well as a lot of wrestlers. What are they doing? They're all going up in weight. They're not cutting 15, 10, 12 pounds anymore. Look, if he puts the muscle on properly for football, he wrestles at that weight when he's in wrestling. Don't hinder him by bringing him back down. You're doing this to his body at a young age. I know we did that because we didn't know better and we had success. But I think right now with his body and the way he is, he looks like he's going to get bigger.
Right.
His junior, senior year, he looks like he's going to blow up. 145 is not going to, that's not even be in the woodwork it won't even be around by the time he gets to wrestling. I'm telling you, he's going to end up being probably 175.
But he can't go through a wrestling season saying, okay, I'm going to wrestle 140 or 145, and then we're hitting strength and conditioning, and then he's at 155.
Does he plan on winning state? Does he plan on placing it? My thought is
I don't want him doing things recreational.
No, put the weight on. Put the weight on and wrestle his ass off to see if he can make the weight at whatever he's walking around at.
So just wrestle to have fun.
No, it's not just to have fun. Be the best in whatever that is at that weight class. Don't bring him down. If you know that if his overall goal is to play football, don't impede, don't hurt that by having him cut down to 45. You know he's going to have to put weight on. You're going to affect his ability to make the varsity squad or be a starter, in the varsity squad for his junior, senior year. I wouldn't do that. I would literally just let him wrestle at the weight class he walks around. He's going to get tougher wrestling those guys at 165, 175, whatever it is, what class that he's walking around at, 155, 175, whatever it is. He'll get tougher and stronger wrestling those guys, which will help him build muscle for football next year. And then he'll just leave the wrestling room, right into the lifting the weights, right into workouts, sprints, footwork, all that stuff, and get him ready for the next year. I'll bet you he'll end up wrestling next year probably 175, 165, somewhere in there. He'll put on probably 15 pounds. 160, what's the weight class? 165, 64?
It's hard in wrestling because you have to figure out what.
But that's not his priority, and I know you. It might be yours.
No, it's not. No, it's not because that's what I got to him. I even told him yesterday because we had to talk about it yesterday. I was like, man, let's sit down and talk about what you want to do. And he goes, oh, what do you mean? I said, because I just talked to my strength and conditioning coach, and he works with defensive backs and he works with running backs. Mm-hmm. Building power, building speed, watching tape and everything like that. And Miles wants to work with him and work with this other guy. So I was like, is it more important? Would it benefit him more to just get into a good strength and conditioning program and then work on his skills and then work on speed and get ready for track? Because track is going to be something that helps him with football more. Because if we do wrestling is going to take up his time because we did it last year. And he even said it also. He was like, he wanted to do it last year. And what he did his freshman year, he put on good weight in the summer, came back, had a good freshman season. After that, he went to wrestle. And it was kind of like, instead of building from what he did before, he lost a lot. He wasn't cutting a lot of weight. He was just wrestling what he weighed. And it was like, well, he's 2 pounds here, so he just dropped to 2 pounds. So he was maintaining right here, as opposed to taking those 3 months and saying, all right, let's get on a weight training program. Because let's be honest, in Texas football, it's serious. These guys are serious. We were just watching the game with Lone Star, and Lone Star had their quarterback. Me and Miles were watching. The quarterback goes back, he sees a hole, runs through the middle, and it was like a whole bunch of little minions. This kid's a grown man, just and I was like, man, you got to step up in this.
But there's nothing's going to build his actual tendon strength, muscle strength, his physical body strength more than moving somebody else's body around. And that's what wrestling's going to do for him. So on top of that, he can also bulk up during that time if he needs. Spend that time getting bigger. Don't worry about what the coaches say. Use that time also to get bigger. I honestly believe not only will wrestling give him more confidence out there on the football field, he's going to be building his muscle strength, his tendon strength, all that stuff, the head snaps, the driving, the penetrations, all that stuff. It's going to be more beneficial to him than him spending that time just in the weight room nonstop. He's moving physical bodies that are actually moving back at him. So his muscle strength in his hips, his knees, his legs, his ass, all that shit is going to be what he needs for football. Okay. I think you should let him do wrestling. I wouldn't set a high standard for it, but I would look, I need you to be the best at in whatever weight class you decide to wrestle at. So that means we're working on it. Now, let me ask you this. You know this, as well as you go up in weight class, like in fighting, 185, 205s, and heavyweights. They're the weakest weight classes in MMA. Wrestling, the technique starts to go down until you get to like the Starachis and the guys that are world class, you know, the Bo Nichols, like not until you get there to the top level college wrestling. But a lot of the guys in high school, especially in Texas, where wrestling's not as big as it is in California, Pennsylvania, Ohio, those areas, that the heavier you go, the less technique they have and the more they just bull you around. So if your son's got any technique in wrestling, which you have the ability to show him and work with him on, he should be able to beat these kids at 165, 160, 155. If he goes up 10, 15 pounds, he'll be a better wrestler. He'll be probably more explosive and faster than them. I think it's a no-brainer. You keep him where he's at, have him build the weight on, and then after his season, he'll already be hitting the ground running with the strength and conditioning to help build up his weight for football.
Out of curiosity, how many kids on the wrestling team are playing football as well?
Well, on his team right now, there's like they have a whole team that just wrestles. So because they're wrestling right now, they had a tournament last weekend. And with the football team, Miles can't wrestle right now because football season's not over.
Right.
And since he was on JV, he got moved up to the varsity kind of, I guess, practice squad or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're still practicing. So they can't even get cut to wrestle. So now when he gets into it, they're going to already be a couple tournaments into the season, and they've been wrestling the entire year. Because with wrestling, they start at the beginning of the year, and they're doing it as a class throughout the time. He wasn't able to do that because he had to do football. So he was doing football the whole time. And then now it's like when football's over, then he's going to jump into the wrestling season. They're well into it. So the coach was like, well, we're going to put you in this so that you guys can kind of catch up a little bit and then integrate you guys back into the wrestling program.
Can he not wrestle like at like Rise Wrestling or a club nearby afterwards? Like after you get done with your football practice afterwards, can you go somewhere and just get some drilling in?
He can. But I mean, they can start, I think it's maybe next week. They can start. So if I put him in Rise, it's literally just putting him in there for what, 2 days now?
2 days better than nothing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, all it takes is that one technique that the coach showed you that you actually sticks with you, and now all of a sudden it works for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think I wanted to have kind of a heart-to-heart with him because I don't want him wrestling because of me. Because I think that was part of the reason why he wanted to do it. Because he knows that I'm so much into wrestling, and that's where I came from. So I think that I felt that way. But when I talked to him yesterday, and I asked him, I was like, "Look, man, I'm 100% on your side. Whatever you want to do. If you want to like really just focus on football," I said, maybe we take this 3 months before track to just focus on, because there's Ursula over at Sports Academy. She's fantastic for speed. Like she's one of the best. And then there's a guy, Flight, that works on, he's a DB coach, so he just works on just skills with that. And then there's another guy that does strength and conditioning and explosive movements and everything like that. So I was like, is it more important to just kind of focus on just working with those three and just kind of having a routine set? And I want you to get your meals and everything like that and really just get yourself prepped for track, or do we take that time and wrestle? And his answer was, and I told him, I said, man, let's do that. Like I was almost pushing that a little bit. And he goes, I kind of want to do both. He said, I really like wrestling, but I really want to work with Flight, and I really want to work with Ursula, and I really want to work with him. So I'm like,
yeah, but look, on that drop down double, he's going to penetrate, and that's how you work off your starting line for your track. Just keep that in mind. Like there's things that you can take from wrestling that will help you in track. And then on top of that, he's going to get explosive exercises out of wrestling that he can use for track. And now if you want to work, say 1 day a week, look, you're private. This is what I was telling my son, because he does small group training. I give him randomly, I'll give him a private, but like more, it's like small groups of like 4 or 5 with his teammates where they practice. I'm not out here trying to spoil him, son. Like you want it, you're going to have to put some extra time in on your own. Privates should be done once every 2 weeks to work on whatever it is that coach thinks that you need to work on. That's it. You start spending more money on that, there's no reason for it. Like your kid either wants it or he doesn't. If my son right now is going through this process of this thing and this, when I get home from practice, that's all you're going to practice, then you don't want it. I'm not going to give you privates then. I'm not going to give you small group training. Okay. Oh, you had 3 goals this weekend? That's cool. But you need more. Go out there and shoot 100 shots. with tennis balls. Like, I'm sorry. I like, you want it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. That's kind of my mentality right now.
So that
My kid's only 10, so I'm on the level right now where I'm like, you keep telling me you want this, but I don't see you want it.
Okay.
So
So I was talking about this, and so yesterday we went to go do, it was bring your parents, and it was like career day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was responsible for going in there and talking to the kids as a keynote speaker and talking to them about my profession and what I did and setting goals and all these different things. And there was another parent there, and we were talking, and she was talking, and like I was going in one way. I was like, you know what, when you want something, you got to get laser focused, and that's how you become successful, right? And then she was like saying balance, because I told the kids, I said, when you guys go talk to these other parents, what I want you guys to ask those parents, I want you to ask them, if they can change anything, what would it be? And what she said was balance. And I was like, what do you mean by balance? And she was like, well, she said, because when I was growing up, there was different things that I wanted to do, and I would just do just that. And I would neglect other parts of my life, right? She said, I would spend more time with my friends. I would do this, I would do that. Now, if you think about it, across the board, that's what we ultimately want to do. But then you see those kids that are super successful. Like I did my Phenom Selection program, and I did the one with Bo Bassett. Did you see him? Miles watched it, and he goes, dang, he's tough, man. The kid's a world champion. He is amazing, but all he does is wrestle.
what did this female say? What did she? What does she do for work now?
She was a teacher, acting coach.
Okay.
And then now she works with the Cowboys Club and getting their stuff together.
The answer's right there, Bobby. You're how many time national champion?
3.
There. Okay. You're a WWE or former WWE wrestler. Like you're wrestling at a high level. You fought at a high level. Different path, buddy.
I quit
Teacher,
football.
It doesn't matter. We're not talking about football. We're talking about your career. It's career day. You said talking about.
But listen, what I did.
Different levels.
I cut out football and just focused on wrestling.
Okay.
So
She's saying balance, and I'm
she's
saying
do everything,
and I'm saying she's wrong. That's what I'm saying.
But you just said that she was right.
No.
Because you were saying for my son is to let's go around and do kind of everything, and I'm saying at this point for kids to be successful at one thing, they need to make that their full-time gig.
Being athletic is one thing. She's saying, I want to be a teacher. I want to be an actor. That's all different stuff. You're saying be an athlete. An athlete is getting your run, getting your sprints in, getting your strength conditioning in. Doesn't matter if you're a wrestler or a football player or a tennis player. You got to still do your work.
Okay.
That's all the same.
Okay.
It could be more sports directed, but I also go to the coaches. Like I do the one private I do is with Kellen's soccer coach.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, I feel like he needs this and this. Like, I want you to spend an hour and a half with him and just fix a couple of, he needs to hear it from you.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the only time I'll do a private with the coach. It has to be his coach too, not some random coach. It's got to be the coach that has seen him practice and play and the mistakes he's making. I can't just go in there and tell him. I think with your son, I don't know if he's making mistakes or not, but he's going to learn how to wrestle, but he's also going to get stronger in wrestling, which is going to help him for football. Okay, he can lift weights and bulk up. He doesn't need to be the kid that always cuts weight to make the weight to wrestle.
Okay.
That's a mentality like we've instilled in ourselves over the years of wrestling. Like, hey, I can wrestle at 25 or 35, whatever it is, when I can actually just probably wrestle at 155 and probably be just as good. I just didn't want to do it because it was the cool thing. All of us are cutting weight together in the sauna, team building shit, like that type of stuff. No. I think if he stays the course and where his body's at, he wrestles that weight class, he'll get physically stronger during that season.
Okay. I'm still going to debate you on this one because I like what you're saying because I think that that's what we want to do. And especially here in the United States, it's do everything. But okay, so I'm going to go back to my phenoms because I go in and I go interview all these different kids that are successful at sports. The last kid that was here in Frisco, his name is VJ. This little kid's a basketball player, 6'2". The kid's amazing. He's the number one kid.
How tall is he? 6'2"? How old is he?
He's in 8th grade.
Okay, so we had no other option: basketball or volleyball. Those were his two options at 6'2".
No,
That's
no,
it.
no,
Dude, Rich,
no,
Rich is
no,
laughing because
no.
Rich is like pretty much.
No, like, okay, hold on a second. So
Let me be a phenom in something. How about basketball or volleyball?
that's-
There you go.
Not it. Because when I was talking to him, he played football and he was a quarterback and he was incredible. And now when I was talking to him, I asked these kids, I say, do you play any other sports? And he was like, yes, I play football and I run track. And then his mom's sitting back on the side and she's kind of giving a look. I interviewed the parents afterwards and I went and asked his mom, I said, it kind of seemed like you gave a little look when he said football. And she said, yeah, I don't want him doing football. She said, basketball is his deal. If he plays football, it's going to kind of bring him away and he takes time off of basketball. He stands a risk of getting hurt.
That's the one right there. Mom said it, that you said it first.
Dad said it also.
Because they know that he's 6'2", probably going to be about 6'5", 6'6". Better chance of playing better chance of playing basketball. That tall at 8th grade, let's be real. Bobby, stop sugarcoating it, man. The kid is probably good at football, but he's probably not great. The parents see that he's better at basketball. He can dunk over everybody who's only like 5'4".
No.
Okay, that's what it comes down to.
Hold on. I'm gonna give him credit because this kid is like a crazy athlete. So as a football player, it was like what they do with him as quarterback. Because I saw him play. It's like hike, throw the ball to this guy. All right, he gets tackled. Give the ball to this guy. He runs it. We got to score a touchdown. VJ, just run it. Hike, run around. Boom, he runs it. He's a super athlete. That's what he is. So he can do it at football because he's a star on their football team. He was a reason why they went undefeated. Their coach, or I think they lost one game. Their coach came to him afterwards, and their coach said, we need you on the football field. And his parents are like, no, basketball is your thing. That's what we decided to do. He decided to do it. He wanted to do it. He says that's his number one sport. So do you pull him away and put him into football and all these other things, or do you really hone him in? Because if you think about it, man, it's a different game. You guys have younger kids. It's a different game when you get to high school. When you get to high school, like Miles, I'm really thinking about this because he has 2 years. This kid wants to go to Penn State. This kid wants to do all this stuff that he looks at. If you want to do that, you have to be like dialed in. You have to be dedicated. I told him, I said, next year, you got to be the one that people are talking about. So you have to, it's a business. These kids are going into college, getting NIL deals that are getting paid more than anyone.
We have to focus.
No, I get you have to focus.
Ideally, we want a well-rounded, and I've heard
Yes.
other pro athletes say, I was listening to, this was a little while ago, but it was very encouraging, like Adam Thielen, the wide receiver.
Yep.
He played like 4 sports in high school.
Yeah.
But and it's a great idea, but I think these days you got to look at the reality of the competitive landscape, and everyone's focusing, right?
Big time.
But okay, so I agree with you. Everyone is focusing, I think that 2-sport athletes is more realistic because they offset. Like say you play football in the fall and then during the winter you wrestle, or like you wait till the spring, you do track, whatever it is. I can understand the 2-sport athlete thing. Not force is ridiculous, but that's just
It was a great story, and it's very idealistic, but it's not always realistic.
What I've always said though is that the reason how we developed our athletic skills is we played stickball in the street, played football in the corner. We played all these sports. We were jumping our bikes on ramps on the concrete. That's how we became athletes. So you want to continue to be an athlete. You want to continue. As soon as we focus on one sport, you start to lose some of your athleticism. Like you're not making those cuts that you were making on the basketball court that you're making now on the wrestling mat. Like they're not the same.
Okay.
Like, so you're losing that little bit of athleticism. I think with your son, where he's at, wrestling is not going to affect him at all if he just wrestled at his walk around weight and he tries to lift weights and continues to try to get a little bit bigger. That's not going to affect him.
Okay, I think I want him to wrestle. So I'm not saying I don't want him to wrestle. If he was a heavyweight, 100%. If he was a heavyweight, lineman, linebacker, anything like that. If he was just a big kid, yeah, heavyweight, boom, let's go into wrestling. But being that lower weight, what he needs, one of his biggest things that he needs to do is to be able to put on a little bit of size. He has to. On the field here, he's like me. When I was thin, I was tiny when I was there. And all throughout my wrestling season and career, I stayed really light. When I got to the Olympic Training Center, it was like I couldn't make 187 anymore. And then when I
That's not
stopped
little,
that,
Bobby. He said I was little. Like, Bobby, that's not little, Bobby.
little.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say like 125, 135.
But for me, when I was walking around at 205 lean, and I'm constantly having to think about my weight because that is something that's important. Because when you're at the Olympic Training Center, there's 211 and 187 and a half. Like, and when I'm walking around at 200, I can't wrestle 211. That's what I was thinking. I was like, so I was dropping down here, cutting like crazy. And then at the end, I was like, forget it. And then I jumped up to 211. And then that's when I got up to 220. And then my body adjusted.
But high
those are
schools don't
heavy-
have
those
that
are-
big of a jump from the weight classes.
But there's a lot of jumps. So if he's at 145 right now, what does he wrestle? Does he wrestle 145? Does he wrestle 140? Does he go 152? Does he go to 160, 165?
Whatever he
Do we
walks-
just let
what
him
does he
keep
walk
going up?
around
It's,
at?
it's harder to do. And I'll tell you this. When I was at the Olympic Training Center, so we were training 9 in the morning, we would do technique. We'd come back at 3 o'clock and we would do a little technique and then we go into live and then certain days were conditioning. So we had a schedule of 2 workouts a day. And then I was working on at night. I remember Kevin Jackson came to me because I was a little burned down. And he goes, man, you look a little tired today. I said, oh man, yeah, I went and got a hard run in last night. And he goes, do runners wrestle to get in shape for running? And I was like, I said, I don't think so. He said, so why are you
question.
running? So why are you running to get in shape for wrestling?
Just wrestle.
Just wrestle. He said, you get better at your sport by doing your sport. So to think that now wrestling is a little different because wrestling I think can help mental
100%
toughness and
helps you
different
with-
things like that
with
in other
football.
sports. But when you get to like, he's at a point right now where, and this is where it goes. It's we always try to make the right decisions, right? And we get because there's no second decision. Once you make one, you're tied to the decision that you make. Like I'm not going to have him start wrestling and say, "Oh, okay, let's go ahead and leave at midseason." No, if you start it, you're going to finish.
Yeah.
It. So the decisions that we're trying to make is like, I don't want him to half-ass wrestling.
What's the football coach saying? Because your ultimate goal, what I'm hearing is, your goal isn't to be a state champion wrestler. It's to make varsity and be a successful football player.
No, if we're going to wrestle, we're going to be a state champion.
Well, then maybe you
what's
need to
his
temper
goal?
down your expectation.
Hell no.
But his goal is he wants to make the varsity squad and be a successful football player, right?
Yes,
He's not telling you, Dad, I want to be a state champion wrestler.
he doesn't want to lose. Losing sucks.
Sure, but the goal, what'd you say he loves doing every weekend?
He loves it.
Football.
But yeah,
So what's the coach saying? Because you're ultimately trying to get, if he's working out the varsity team and you're like, hey, coach, what do you think he should do? Because his decisions are going to impact what he thinks is very important, right? Like, hey, I think Miles needs to work on this, this, and this. And I think he needs to get bigger, faster, stronger. And does wrestling help that, or does it prevent that? Are you better? And he needs to work on these skills. And I think what coach thinks, because you're in this system, right? You're at Wakeland.
Rich,
You're
I think
there.
Bobby knows the answers. He just doesn't want to admit it to
Right.
himself. Like, I'm sorry, man. You need to your son just needs to play football, dedicate as much time to football, but he can still play other sports and still strength condition himself to become a successful football player. He can get bigger and still wrestle. Are you not you're not getting that? Because look, let's bottom line is you just did Bo Bassett, the interview with him.
yes,
Okay. When he wrestled Cepeda, right? Cepeda cuts a ton of weight versus Bo Bassett does not.
Right.
Who had better performances?
Zepeda.
Cepeda cut more weight.
Zepeda beat him all the matches where they didn't have to do the second weigh-ins.
Okay. So he didn't have to do second weigh-ins.
They didn't have to do the second weigh-ins. And
Yes.
Zepeda beat him when
Okay,
they
so he
didn't have
cut
to do the
more
second
weight.
weigh-in.
So he cut more
Zepeda
weight.
cut a lot of weight, and it was a tougher one for him.
But we're in high school. When do they make weight? Literally before they walk on the mat. They don't do it the way before.
It depends. There's different
So-
there's different tournaments throughout the year that they
Okay.
don't.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but they're still going to have to sometimes. If you make it to the second day, you know this. They're going to probably sometimes have to make weight that night.
Yes, they do.
He doesn't need to cut a ton of weight, so he doesn't have to. You don't have to worry about putting. I put the weight on. He can still be a good. He can still put on size, still wrestle up where he needs to be, walk around weight, It's going to make him physically stronger. It's going to give him the explosiveness that he needs off of his natural body size that he can carry over into football. And then he's going to probably lean out a little bit, to be honest, when he does track, which he needs to do track. Every football
Yeah,
player,
he's gonna do track
Tyreek
for
Hill,
sure.
Yeah.
Waddle, all these guys, they were all great track runners. You want to know why? I mean, they were all good
They have
football
to,
players because
because
they
they
all did
track, yeah.
track.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I think it helps each other.
Come back here. What did Coach say? Have you talked to him?
Man, these
Just want to win and have
no.
fun.
Come on,
listen-
Come on,
because
Bobby.
Wakeland's competitive. They made right. They've advanced, right?
They've advanced,
Yeah.
but it depends on who you ask. Because I've talked to a couple different people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I talk to people that are looking at that bigger picture of going on to do bigger things
Right.
with their kids or whatever, they're saying
Focus.
we got to focus. We got to focus on football because if you had your kids in football in Texas football and you get to the high school level, man, it's a serious thing. And when my son, his goal is to play football.
That's the answer.
The
Focus
the
on
grit,
things to accomplish that goal. Then
and I understand where Josh is coming from, and I understand where my son's coming from. It is still his sophomore year, so we're okay with it. But I watch my son throughout the years, and he has my syndrome of just being like a very lean kid. So he's very lean. So on the field, he was a little smaller. My thing is the only reason he wasn't on varsity was because he's just a smaller kid. Because you can see I'm physically watching him down there, and he's like this smaller kid, super fast, student of the game, loves it, knows everything about football. I mean, that's his thing. But
Got that speed from his mom, huh?
shit, I'm a beast. They call me Turbo.
bro, eat, lift, get
Yeah,
bigger, stronger, faster,
exactly.
and play football, man. I
Yep.
think that's the answer.
I mean, I'll let. I mean, I see where you're coming from.
I think you're
and
letting
he
this
said
beat
it-
you up way too much.
Like because I'm looking at him and I'm saying I want to put you in the because that's what we talked about from the beginning. We want to give our kids the best opportunity that we can, and I know that because afterwards, man, it happens fast. When we went last year, it was football and then went wrestling season. As soon as wrestling season was over, it was right to track.
Yeah.
And then during track, they were playing football because here they play football during track. So they were practicing track or they were practicing football and then they went to track. And then as soon as track was over, they were right into football because they were in flag and then they went right into the season. So there's no real downtime in there. So if he goes from
He's 15 years old. He don't need downtime.
well, I'm saying downtime to be able to put on the weight, do your strength and conditioning, get your explosive and all that stuff, and get all that in. There's no time to do it because strength and conditioning is important. And when my son, from his 8th grade year to his 9th grade year, we had to sit on talk. I said, "Hey, man, it's Texas football. We gotta get busy." So this joker was every day. He would get on his bike. He would go to the gym. He was cooking. So he put on some good size. I was like, man, this kid is he's putting on some size, getting ready for football season. So he came. He had a great season. Then afterwards, he went to wrestling. Then went to football. And then went to this. And then there was no stop. So now we're from last year playing football as a 9th grader to this year. There was no stop. So there was no time for him to really like focus on putting some weight on, getting his strength and conditioning in, and really honing in his game. There's no time because it went from wrestling to track to flag to season and then right back into it. So he almost stayed the same size as when he really hit it before, when he had that break in his 8th grade to 9th grade year.
Well, I feel like last year was because he was wrestling and trying to lose 2 pounds, walk around weight, lose 3 pounds, walk around making weight. We're not making weight this year. We're literally just showing up whatever weight class we are and we're wrestling. That's going to be the difference. If he bulks up during wrestling season, so be it. Allow him to do that and if he's got to wrestle up a weight class or 2, then that's what he does. He can continue to get bigger. Then he's going to be moving bigger bodies around. He'll be wrestling with bigger bodies. He'll be having to penetrate and drive through to take these bigger bodies down. That's going to help him for tackling in football. I don't know.
You
We're
want me-
having a
you
hard
want-
time.
You want me to be realistic with it?
Do I need to learn
haven't-
sign language to get this through to you?
Well,
What is
because-
going on?
Hey, let's be realistic about it. Okay, say he goes over there and he's like, all right, let's bulk up, let's do it. So he comes in at, let's say he hits 150 and he's at 151 and he's wrestling 160 pounders. They come down from 170. Oh, yeah, he gets all that, but he's just wrestling bigger kids that are just throwing him over and beating him. They're bigger, stronger, everything than him. That's how wrestling is. You're not gonna say, oh, because he just, man, when people wrestle their own weight class, when I was wrestling, somebody wrestled what they weighed, I would murder him. And that's how it is. When you get to that level, when you get to high school level, these kids are big kids.
So-
At least the good ones are.
What happened during our time of wrestling though was that we were right before those kids at Michigan died. So the weight cutting got cut in half. Hydration tests started coming into play. Also, too, it went from morning weigh-ins to right before you stepped on the mat weigh-ins. Things are different now. So I can't imagine Texas would be any different. They're gonna probably weigh in when they show up to the actual duel, and you have literally like 20. You probably have an hour before you wrestle.
Yeah,
So
but
no one's cutting
they're
8
still-
pounds, 12 pounds.
Yes, they
You're
are.
not cutting that weight.
They are. That's not a lot of weight. It's really not a lot of weight. It really isn't. Because like those kids,
For these high school kids, that's a lot of weight.
Nah, man.
Bobby.
Unless
You're a heavyweight.
if you go to practice the day before, you lose, say 3 pounds at practice, and then so you lose 3 pounds at practice. You got to weigh in the morning. You maybe go home, eat maybe a pound, drink a pound, then you lose another 2, so now you're at 4. You sleep off 2. That's sick.
All right.
Easy. You're still hydrated. You're still good. That's 6 pounds just in that day before weigh-ins. So when you're coming in, you're weighing in. You weigh in. You put that back on. So a kid that's just casually doing something, he's going to have a 10-pound bonus on you.
I don't think so. It's not going to be that much. I don't think so.
Either way,
even if it wasn't, your son's number one sport would be football.
either way, what you're saying is just have fun with it, and
I know he can
doesn't
still
wanna
be
have fun
really
with it.
good. He can still be
Yeah,
really
but if
good.
it's not your
that way.
priority,
Yeah.
and you're just saying, "Hey, we're going to want to have fun," if he gets teched multiple times in the season, it's going
That's
to drive
not
him
fun.
crazy, though. But
It's going to drive Bobby crazy.
Right.
No, it's
That's
not.
what I mean.
No, it's not. No, it's not because I got to watch him come off the mat by getting pinned
So
by
then don't
somebody,
do it. Just-
and he's
yeah.
and he's
Focus
and he's
on-
pissed off, crying and shit like that. And I'm sitting there. No, Miles, you got to bring it in.
Well, maybe that's a conversation you have with him. Look, if you want to get good for football but still wrestle, then I think we should approach it Josh's way, and just put your weight
Josh's
on,
way.
compete. I mean, because Bobby, you have a different take on it.
yeah, but
Yeah.
the mindset is still this is not our priority. Our priority is football.
Yeah,
So let's just go have fun with this wrestling season.
that's not.
Can both of you?
We have fun
Can you
with
do
it.
both? Can you still do both though, and just stop calling it fun and be like, look, I'm out here to try to win, but I'm going to do it this way because I need to make sure that I'm getting ready for football.
Yeah,
Can you
because
not?
I don't like. I don't like
it's
the
a
fun thing.
supplement to the ultimate goal. Again, what's your focus? I think that applies to us as well as
My
the
focus
kids.
would be to walk into wrestling, try to be successful at whatever weight I walk around at. That is not having fun. That means I got to put the work in to make
Yeah,
sure
but
that I'm
what's
learning
what's
the
your big
techniques.
picture? You're not trying to you're not trying to wrestle in college.
But let's
You're trying to play football in college.
who knows? Maybe he can be a 2-sport athlete.
Yeah.
We don't know that. I don't.
It doesn't
I don't-
happen though.
You are correct. It would be very
So
unlikely.
It doesn't happen.
There's certain
The
sports
top
that you don't
football
play.
players in the state of Texas, which are some of the top players in the country, most of them don't wrestle, right? They
Right.
play football.
Yeah, I've noticed that the wrestling in Texas is not the greatest. That's one. Two is the focus is not wrestling in this state at all.
No.
You know,
There's some schools that their focus is, but that's all those kids do.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get the Melissas, you're gonna get the Allens, you're gonna get
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
of those
when
schools
at
that
the
are-
top, it's very good.
Mhm.
Clearly, right?
Yeah.
National champs out of 30 minutes from here, but they didn't play football either. They just wrestled.
yeah.
Bo Bassett doesn't do anything except,
Just
and he's
wrestle.
going to be a national champ and a Olympian,
world
one day.
champ. Yeah,
Yes.
he's gonna be all that. So
doing one thing.
So for me, it's if he was younger, sure, do it all. Once we get older, we have to start making some bigger decisions, and it's
But what are your decisions based on? your goals.
It's based on his goals.
Right. So his goal is to be a college football player. Right.
Right.
So do everything that takes you in that direction, even if it's against what you want. It's his
But
goal,
saying,
not
he's
yours.
saying what takes him in that direction is wrestling is going to be very beneficial for taking him in that direction.
If he wants to wrestle, if he doesn't want to wrestle, then this whole argument is mute.
He said,
Okay, if he wants to wrestle, then his approach needs to be the way that I explained it.
But
Say, look, Josh's way is this way because I want Bobby to.
but you
say
oh,
it.
Josh said it. Okay.
Josh said it.
But I still think there needs to be a conversation with the coach.
Absolutely.
It's with everyone, and I think everybody's going to run into this position. You guys are going to run into the position also. You're going to get to the point where your son is playing. You know, is lacrosse and soccer in the same season?
Yes. Yeah.
Which he's going to try to do both.
Well, see, the thing is, they don't have. Yes, he will probably try to do both, but the thing is, they also don't have them in school. So it's the 5 high schools for Prosper. They make up one club team. So they end up having a really good team. Like Highland Park has one club team amongst their schools. Like it's more of a club team because for soccer and for lacrosse, professional athletes or colleges don't look at high school teams for those sports. They look at club teams. Whereas it's different for football. They go watch the football. They go watch high school football.
So your son's a 4-star recruit coming out of his sophomore year in
for
soccer.
what? For soccer. It's up to him.
He's still going to play both.
It's up to him.
No,
my conversation.
You're the dad that's going to help
No,
guide
no,
him.
no, no, no.
You got to help
no.
guide this kid.
No, my conversation with him is up to you. If you want to do both, then do both.
But you got.
Let's be honest.
We
Let's be
can't- we
honest.
can't- we can't leave it in the
My
hands
son
of
could
our
be a
kids.
10-star recruit. The chances of him going pro, okay, in soccer are like this. Like it doesn't matter.
I don't believe it.
There's been one really good soccer player out of the United States. That's it. In like probably the last 30 years. That's it.
You got that glass ceiling.
No, man. No, that's the reality. Why do you think they talk about men's soccer in
I
the
think
U.S.
I think anything's possible.
Oh, anything is possible.
I think
not if you play for men's soccer in the United States.
Okay,
Women's soccer in the United States is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Men's soccer, not so much.
So why? So you're just looking at
Look,
it for college.
I'm looking at strictly for college and then move on from there. I do like the idea of lacrosse because they have professional lacrosse here now in the U.S. It's on TV. It's on ESPN. There's room to grow there. They're also making that push out west. So there's a lot of that I feel like, and he's better at lacrosse than he is at soccer.
Okay, this is another point that I mean it can happen anyway. So we can't say that this is something that happens. But my son was saying that there's a kid that's like an amazing baseball player, 4-star. He was amazing but he plays football also. Blew his knee out in football. He can't even play his senior year in baseball. So all those scholarships that he was talking about.
Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, the scholarship situation is kind of starting to dissipate anyways because of the NIL deals.
But you still have
and the
to
transfer
be wanted.
portal.
But you still have to, and there's still guys that are coming out. When you're talking about a 4-star,
Okay.
you're talking about he is going to get a scholarship.
Absolutely.
He is
He's going to walk
top
on
out.
anywhere he wants. And he'll end up getting some money. He'll walk on and he'll be able to make the team and he'll end up getting some money.
But
So
it's
I think the scholarship idea of like is not as important now. Like he'll be able to walk on, and once he plays his first season, if he's as good as he thought he was going to be coming on, he's going to end up making some good money his sophomore, junior, senior year.
But we're coming from a place of we can do that. We can be able to put our kids in that position. But there's some people that aren't. There's people that are looking at it saying, I am not going to be able to go to college unless I can get that scholarship, unless I can bust my ass and make it to that point. And even though I can put my son to college and through college and send him to wherever he needs to go, he still wants to do it on his own. So to do it on his own, what most kids want to do, and they would be excited to see all these different schools going after him and everything like that, they've got to be able to present themselves to that school and say, hey, I'm that guy that you guys need. And in order to do that, these kids are taking that next level. Now, there's a bunch of kids in there that are like, of that football team, Wakeland's team, I think there's 2-3 kids that are probably going to go to college and play football. There might be 10 other ones that, go walk on and maybe play at a JUCO or maybe. But as far as guys that are really going to go to like a Division I school that are really going to push it and take it to the next level, there's I think there's 2 kids that they have on their team.
Rich, you've worked with athletes a long time, but there's a high school level that gets to college and didn't think they were going to get there. They end up being, they end up making the D1 team, being a star. Then they get to the pros and they end up flopping out. Or they end up being a D2 team on a D2 team, and then they go to the pros and they end up being superstars. Like there's levels of their potential, and it grows as they grow. So to say that like your kid can't be a 2-star athlete and then go to a college and walk on both of them, or just even one, is I think it's very capable. 100% is capable for him to do it. So I think, I'm not saying that he should wrestle in college. It's a lot of work and a lot of grind. The season starts in October. It doesn't end until end of March. Like, it's a long season.
Yeah.
Football, I'm sure it's a long season as well, but it's one of those things that you can continuously get better if you wrestle a little bit in college, if you wanted to. I just look at it where right now is the time for him. There's nothing that says he cannot wrestle during this time, which I think he can. 100%. I think he can.
Okay. This is where I come with where I'm trying to make the decision, because he wrestled last year. He played football. After wrestling season was over, I was like, what do you want to do? Because I'm just going to support him with whatever he does. So he wanted to get in track. He did really well at track. And then after that, we went to summertime, and I talked to him about Rise. Mm-hmm. We looked at Rise, and if he wanted to wrestle, he would have said, Dad, let's go to Rise. But he stayed and played football, and he wanted to go and work with this back coach, so he did that. So that's what he chose to do. So for me, I'm giving him the opportunity to look at what he wants to do, and I'm going to support him with it. So now coming back into it, there's a lot of parents that are making hard decisions and making hard decisions with their kids because, man, it's
Bobby. I started this argument though from the beginning, and I feel like you didn't hear anything. Like, literally, I told my son, if I give you a prize, like, if you're not going to work on it outside of this, I'm not going to help you with it. And the same thing, if Miles said I want to wrestle and then didn't go to wrestling and chose to go to football, he answered the question for you.
Right.
There's no reason to have any more conversations about it.
But now I'm in this place where I was like, yeah, I'd love to go wrestle. And he wants to go wrestle, but he really wants to be in football. Well, so now we're in this place right now where I'm like, what do you want to do?
Rich said the same thing.
No,
he's doing it for fun. You are doing it for real. He's doing it for fun.
But he doesn't
wants
understand.
To be a football player.
He wants to be a football player.
Yeah, but he doesn't, like, he understands, and then
you're beating yourself up over it.
I think you're overthinking it.
Yeah, you're way overthinking it.
He wants to be a football player.
He wants to be a football player.
That's what I said.
But let him wrestle for fun. That's
Peter, help me out here. Help me here. Help me.
I think you're overthinking it big time. It's really simple.
I'm doing it because, man, I'm going to all these games and I see what these kids are doing, and I'm saying I'm interviewing all these kids that are phenoms, that are high levels. It's like at some point in time, it sucks because when we were growing up, you play 3 sports. Now it's not like that.
No.
If you want to be great, you need to play your sport and focus on your sport, and you need to do just that. Because that's how you make it to the next level.
But see, Rich and I are on a different level. Our kids, both our boys are 10, both our daughters are 7 and 5. And it's kind of like right now is the fun time. Is let them play 2, 3 sports, whatever it is. And that's what we're doing right now. At least that's what I'm doing right now. I know Rich,
parents around here, I know everyone emphasizes Texas football, and it is the king of all sports here. But their baseball in Texas,
soccer is huge.
Is
here.
very, very competitive. But I would say baseball even more so because there's no college soccer for men, really. College baseball is huge. UT, Vanderbilt, like the schools around here, Alabama, Oklahoma State. So baseball, because it's really slept on, right? But it's super competitive. Go to a baseball tournament. Go look at travel ball, because you can play baseball year round. You can't play football year round. So we're starting to get into this world, and I'm like, oh my God, parents are starting to just focus. They're doing privates at 10. I got buddies that played in the show in the major leagues, World Series champions. I call them up. Hey man, what do you think? It ain't like, it wasn't like this when we were coming up. So I can't really speak to what I did. Was I played and had fun. It's not like that anymore. It's business, it's privates, it's travel club. And this is coming from guys that just played
in the World Series, played like
world champs, man, not that long ago at the top of the game. But
so if your son gets to that level, and are you gonna let him play football? Are you gonna say, yeah, go ahead and play football?
No, they focused.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to cut out
football. They
football.
focused, but they're just saying it's you have to now.
So you have to now. I guess what I'm getting at is that you're saying, are you going to let him? What do you mean, are you going to let him? Like, it won't even be my choice. It's me, my son's choice. Like, if he wants to play 2 sports, I'm going to go ahead and allow him to do it. But I will sit him down if I know, like, hey, this college or these 4 colleges have said, hey, like, we see a future. Do you want to offer you a scholarship? Then we start saying, okay, look, I think by then your kids, if you've talked to them, had a conversation with them, will be like, yeah, why would I take the chance of getting hurt in soccer? Or why would I get the chance of getting hurt in wrestling when I should just focus strictly on football, sports agility drills, catching, whatever it is? Then that's at that moment. Right now, he doesn't have that right now. So what are we doing? And I think, too, he's making it very clear when you said, let's go look at Rise, and he didn't want to. And then after that, like, yeah, well, sure, let's go. And then never went.
Because he had football practice.
So football's the priority.
There you go.
So football's the priority.
That's football's the priority.
So
I'd rather focus
all I'm
on
saying is, like,
football.
You're
right
way
now,
overthinking this.
I'm not way overthinking. Right now, I'm trying to figure out this because, like, I asked him the other day. I said, "Do you want to just go with these strength and conditioning and really just focus in on just getting that, or would you like to wrestle?" And he goes, "Oh, I kind of want to do both." And I was like,
You can't.
"How do you tell him you can't?"
You can't.
I'm telling you, like, VJ's parents, that kid that plays basketball, his mom said, "I don't want you playing football." This year, he ended up doing it. He said, "I'm doing it anyway," because I just talked to him. He said, "Yeah, I played football. I had a good time." Now, he's an 8th grader. Now he goes to 9th grade. This kid is the top basketball player in the country. They're actually going to move to a different city because they're going to put him on a better basketball team. What if he says, "I want to play football"? His parents are like, "No, we moved you down here because we wanted to put you in this position where you're on this great basketball team. I don't want you playing football," but he likes football because it's fun.
He's also the quarterback. They don't really ever get hit.
Yeah, but he's not. Miles isn't arguing with you to
Yeah.
wrestle,
He wants to do everything.
right? But then you got to understand it could impact your ultimate goal.
I got to. That's what I'm saying. It's like I have to help direct my son's life because we have to. Because, like, if you tell him what he wants to do, I want to play that. I want to play this. I want to play this. And I'm like, no, because we tried to. You can't. We tried to do it because he goes to school because still football practice. They have football practice in the morning, so he has football practice in the morning. Goes to school, then he goes to wrestling practice. Wrestling practice is from 3:45 until 5:30. So are we going to go and try to do our strength and conditioning after that? Like, there's not enough hours in the day to just be doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, at this point, it's like, we're trying to make tough decisions because if I never wrestled, wrestling would never be there. I don't think that that's something that he was going to naturally just jump into. Because I did wrestling and because I had the gym before we went to jiu-jitsu and I was teaching him wrestling and everything like that. And he knows that that's where I came from. And we went to my school and everything like that. So he sees where I came from. So he jumped into wrestling and he was actually pretty good. Just natural ability. So now it's like, yeah, I want to do wrestling too, but I want to do this. So I almost feel like he's doing the wrestling because of me.
That's the conversation.
He got a varsity letter last year as a freshman, so he has it on his jacket and everything like that, which is cool. But, like, I mean, yesterday it was kind of in passing. We talked just for a little bit, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think?" And he was like, and his eyes lit up when he had the opportunity of working with, Ursula over at the Sports Academy and all these, because he likes that. He loves that training, and it's geared towards football. But he was like, "I kind of want to wrestle too." So for me as a dad, I'm like,
back to, what do you want to do? What does he want to do?
Yeah.
I want to be a
wants to do
college football player.
I guess.
But he wants to.
Yeah.
He has a priority.
No.
It's
so
football.
I make that decision for him.
No. I honestly, deep down, you're struggling inside for yourself. That's all I see. All I hear right now from you for the last 45 minutes is you struggling with the inside of, like, you don't want to be the one to tell him, like, no. Like, you either just need to focus on wrestling or focus on football, or you're going to say, hey, wrestling, you just say, look, wrestling is for fun. You're having a hard time with the fact that wrestling is just going to be for fun. He wants to wrestle because he wants to get the experience of wrestling. But I think the approach, like I said, just like tell him, Josh said, okay, that the best way to do this is to wrestle at your natural walk around weight, lift weights, put weight on, and wrestle at that weight. And because you're basically doing it for fun anyways. And you maybe don't want to hear that, but that's the reality. His focus is to be a football player. He only cares about football. Whether he's doing wrestling for you or not, that's not the point. The point is he wants
fighters, right? You train fighters
yeah.
at your gym. Would you take a fighter that said, "Hey, I want to just go have fun with fighting"? Teach me.
No,
how to
because
fight
you're
so I can
wasting
go have
my
fun.
time. He's not wasting his time. He's still learning a skill set that he can carry with him the rest of his
Well,
life.
those people will
No,
too.
no. You're wasting my time because you don't want to go anywhere. That's the difference. No, you're wasting my time. And also too, and those coaches are doing it because they're high school coaches. I do it because I'm training professionals, people that want to make a career out of it. I'm not going to have my time wasted. Rich knows this. He deals with fighters and athletes all the time. I'm sorry, but man, if you're not all in on being a fighter, you're in the wrong game. I'm actually saving your life by telling you, no, get out of my gym. You don't want to do, you want to do it half-fast? Beat it, dude. I'm saving you brain damage. I'm saving your life. Thank me later. There's a big difference. Okay. Horrible analogy there, bud.
It's not, because I look at wrestling as a fight.
Is this
too.
the hill you want to die on? Really? Today?
To go out there, it sucks.
Bobby.
It sucks to take something recreational and then have to go out there and get your ass kicked. And then it's like,
Wrestling is not getting your ass kicked. Wrestling is wrestling.
no,
Getting punched in the face, kicked in the head, is getting your ass kicked.
I hurt people.
And they
I
can just,
hurt people.
all they got to do
When
is
I
just go,
was wrestling people,
and the match is
I was
over.
hurting them. I was hurting them. I was punishing them, bruising them, beating them up. It was
That's
a
not
fight.
wrestling. That's cheating.
My hand was raised after the
Bobby.
match. Okay, all right. You know what? I hope that months down the road we look back and we say, you know what? Miles wrestled. He wrestled at 152. He won state.
Good.
And
I hope
he had-
so too.
And he had a great time. He put
I
some
hope
good
so
size
too.
on. He loved.
I think you're going to notice
That's
a
what I wanna
better. I think you're going to notice probably better performances out of him. Like he'll be able to push harder in practice because he won't have to worry about cutting weight. He won't have to worry about keeping his weight down. He'll be lifting, getting more explosive. I think you're going to see at this age. I wish I would have went back and did it differently. Honestly, in wrestling in high school, I was cutting my ass off to get to 35 because the guy above me was 140, was also my best friend. He was a state champ. And so I didn't want to go up one weight class. I would have had to jump 2 weight classes, which would have sucked. But I wish I would have, because I was walking around at, 45. I was cutting down to 35. I should have just made the weight. I should have just stayed at the weight class I was at, because I could have beat the kid that was wrestling 45.
Yeah.
I just thought it was too much.
So last year Miles wasn't cutting weight. He was just maintaining. That's what I'm saying.
Now you just got to put the weight on.
So he should be going to the season
Yeah.
saying, okay, I'm okay with putting on and just wrestling whatever.
I'm glad it took us 45 minutes to come to that conclusion. Thanks, Bobby.
That is not
exactly
the way. That is
what Josh
not
said
the way
from the
that
beginning.
You're supposed to
That
do
was-
it.
But but all of that being said,
let-
you know what? We've done enough with Bobby today. Rich. But like Ollie's really good at baseball. So where are we
He's
at
all
on
right.
this?
He's all right.
Okay, I like to say that he's really good. He's really
Well, I think you look at, yeah, he's all right.
Being
Coaches
very-
like
very
him.
humble,
He's got the
very,
right
very humble.
attitude. No, he's not. He's okay. Look, I've seen, like I said, I know guys that have played professional baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Like the odds of him making it, they're still very slim, but it feels exciting to know that you actually know guys and have seen guys, and size doesn't matter as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
It matters in every other sport.
Yeah.
Strength matters. Like there's people that look like him that are playing professional, right? It's like there's things out there that are encouraging for
Look at the
him.
guy from Seattle, Ichiro, right? Not a big guy.
No, Ollie will be bigger than him. He's probably bigger than him now. But you look at Ohtani. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the Dodgers just won. You know, they have a few guys. In fact, yeah, big Asians, small Asians. But there's guys that he can look to and say, hey, you know, those guys look like me. Like maybe one day I could be there. So it's fun. It's encouraging. But he wrestles, as we know, that's just for fun. Like last night, I'm watching him get his ass kicked by this other kid who is focused on wrestling, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, can that kid hit a fastball though?
No,
That's
but-
what that's our focus.
Oh, that's
But see,
you're saying?
I look at wrestling and
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
because I know what the goal is.
How did Ollie feel when it was happening?
He just laughed. He goes, that was fun. Yeah. Got my ass kicked. But because right now it's very clear. Son, what do you want to do? We actually wrote it down. Remember, we talked about
Oh,
making
yeah.
lists.
Writing your
Son,
goals.
what do you want to do? I want to play Major League Baseball. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be a national champion wrestler. I don't want to be. We do that. I get why we do that, Dad, but I want to be a professional baseball player.
But here's, I guess, why do you do it? Why do you take him to wrestling? Do you take him to jiu-jitsu? Like I take my son to jiu-jitsu and wrestling only when there's time in between the sports. Like January,
Yeah,
February, we
it's
have
not
some
the
downtime.
priority, but
it's not the priority.
It's strength and conditioning.
Yep.
And it's what no other sport can teach is that grit.
And for me, I teach it as a life skill. I look at jiu-jitsu and wrestling as a life skill. If you know how to shoot a blast double, if you know how to shoot a swing single, those are things that I know my son now for the rest of his life will be able to protect himself with. If I take you down, control that top position, my son has a confidence of like, if anything pops off, I don't have to fight. I can do this. And it's a life skill you have your whole life. So I don't need a national champ wrestling kid. I need a kid that knows how to defend himself.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it differently. I mean, that's three-time national champ. You know, you have that expectation. Football is his love.
It's a lot more simple when I just always remind myself what the goal is, right? Hey, he wants to be a professional. There's nobody doing wrestling and playing baseball.
No.
Right? Like when I go to the tournaments, oh, what else do you guys do? Oh, we wrestle. Oh,
Like what?
that's odd.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with baseball. Then I explain it and they're like, oh yeah, I get it. But still, like you don't meet, you meet a lot more baseball, football, right? That's the two sports. I mean, obviously Bo Jackson, Dion, and there's several others. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady all played baseball and football. But obviously we know what the priority was. But it's just, I go back to the goal. Hey, this is literally just for fun. It's hard to see your kid get dominated by kids who are doing it as their priority. But I just remind myself, man, it's fine. He's still, tougher than the average kid.
That's hard.
Not when you go back and you know this isn't my ultimate goal, but I'm going to gain benefit from it. Hard things are good for us, right? Do you only do things that you're great at?
No, but I do things. Whatever I do, I strive for greatness. I don't give a damn what it is.
Sure, but
I don't care. I don't care if we started a dog.
That doesn't mean that he can't strive for greatness while he's still
trying his
playing
best.
wrestling. He's trying his best. That doesn't mean like because he's coming up short doesn't mean that it's not. He's learning a
there's
life
no
skill.
value in it.
He's not giving full effort.
No, he is.
Oh, he is.
Full effort is in.
Look.
Full effort doesn't mean you're.
No. He was just talking about his son. Heard about it after he got his ass kicked. Well, because he knows that kid's full focus is
Kid's a
wrestler.
baseball player that wrestles for fun.
Okay,
Yes.
we're talking about life skills. Life skills means to me, life skills for my son is like you have to strive for greatness in everything that you do. Well, like I would go back to that kid, the kid VJ. When he played football, I said, "Why did you play football?" I said, "When you went to football, what'd you do?" He said, "How can I make this team win?" Like he took it upon himself to saying, "It's I have to make this team win because we have to win." I'm not. He didn't just go in there saying, "Oh, I just like playing football, so I'm gonna have fun with it because basketball is my sport." No, he took it upon. I have to win for this.
If
team.
if he was an offensive lineman, he couldn't have had that same conversation. He's a quarterback. He controls the tempo
But
of the
I'm not
game.
talking. I'm talking about the mentality of some kids. Some people go into whatever they do is like say, "I want to win. I'm going in here to make this. I'm taking it upon myself to make these people win." So when I go into it, and there are like when I go into anything, it's like I want to strive for that greatness, and I want to put it in my son. So I don't want him to say, "Okay, I'm gonna just wrestle because it's just something in the median, so that I can go here. If I do good, I do good. If I don't, I don't. It's okay." I don't like that. I don't like that mentality. I don't.
Do you get Ollie privates? Have you done private lessons for either hitting, pitching,
for sure.
throwing?
Baseball, yes.
Okay, baseball, yeah.
Yeah.
And then is it like consistent, say once a week, once a month?
Not quite yet.
Or is it kind of when you see something kind of lacking, like let's see if we can get this fixed?
Yeah,
That's
if I'm being honest, the time that we spend, that other parents are doing privates that just focus on baseball. We're playing flag football. He played soccer. He played wrestling. So we're having fun with all these different things.
Yeah.
But knowing that, and believe me, when he walks off the wrestling mat and he had a rough day, he's pissed. When we're playing soccer, again, knowing it's just for fun and his team loses, he's not happy about it.
Yeah.
But he also knows that when he wins a baseball tournament, that's the best feeling. That's when he's really like, I'm all in on this. And that lets me know that this is what I want to do beyond those other things. Like, don't also forget the element of fun, but I get it at this stage. It's serious, right? It's, hey, it's very competitive now. This isn't club level. This is like, hey, I'm going to get cut if I'm not good enough, right, to play football. So at some point, we'll probably have to stop wrestling and focus on baseball. But that's why I'm getting it in now. And well, why do you do wrestling if you're not? We don't even wrestle in tournaments. We did once. It's because for many reasons. There will be a day when a kid comes up to him and says, "Give me that."
Mm-hmm. Life skill.
You guys just want to beat people up.
No.
You can teach a kid how to be a little trained killer.
No.
No.
I want to
That's
teach
what it is. Oh,
no.
he's got to beat people up.
No.
Okay,
It's-
so why'd you just say that when he gets into high school, then he probably won't wrestle? What if he says, "Oh, your dad, I want to wrestle and play baseball," but he's into baseball?
Well, they don't overlap though. The
I
seasons
know
don't
they
overlap.
don't overlap, but
then
it's
Well,
it's.
what's the goal? Dad, I still want to be in the major leagues. Well, then we got to do things that take us towards the goal.
And I'm gonna side on him on this one only for one reason, because the two sports don't really line up at all. Wrestling and football line up. Outside of just them having to cut weight, that's the only downfall for wrestling normally. But in terms of everything else, they line up. Like is in physical strength, learning how to tackle, learning how to blast double someone, learning like body control, all of that stuff lines up with what football needs to provide. Wrestling and football go together. They can. If you allow your son to put the weight on and lift and continue to get a little bit bigger during wrestling versus trying to cut the weight.
The sports complement each other, but I think it's the time. It's more the time sacrifice. Like you said, there is no time. So if you're putting all that time into wrestling, that should be put into football skill development, strength and conditioning, then you know what you got to do. If your coach says, Bobby, he needs to learn more about the game, I would recommend, if you were to ask him, because he's ultimately the guy that's going to make a major decision
right.
in your son's path here towards his goal. Bobby, he's just not strong enough. He's not, he's not skilled enough in these areas. Then is it, well, does wrestling help that? No,
probably not.
Then we're not going to wrestle, son. We're going to take all these privates to get better, to get stronger, and then we're going to get you on track to reach your goal. But if coach says, no, Bobby, he's doing good. I think he's right there. And if y'all want to wrestle, I hate that Bobby doesn't like the word fun, to compete and get after it, then
Hey, you're the fun police over here.
I don't like mediocrity.
Just not coming around.
so what? Yeah,
And the no fun police.
It's not the no fun police. It's like winning is fun. That's what I've learned. Winning is fun, right? Winning is fun.
Man, hey, there's so many of us.
I want to win.
Here's the reality of it. Whether they're good now, where the odds, like you said, the odds of becoming a professional football player, baseball player, soccer player, it's probably less than 1%.
But I'll take that 1%. I'll go after that.
Sure.
1%.
Look, you strive for it, but we'll look back at this. Time always tells, right? But man, wouldn't it be? I just overthink everything. I put so much, and it's not just us. There's thousands, if not millions, of parents out there all over the world that are doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I doing?
No.
They're not even going to make it, most likely. But you hope that, you got to have a realistic goal. Here's the ultimately, man, to be a professional athlete, how cool would that be, in that sport that they love? And then let's get to college, be a college athlete, get a scholarship, or have your school paid for, have that amazing experience of being a college athlete, and then move on and be successful in life. That is probably more realistic than I'm going to be in the NFL.
Okay.
Even making MLS, as low as MLS is, to be an MLS player is still very difficult.
That's
right?
where American men's soccer goes to die.
Okay.
Is the MLS.
Yeah. But it's looking like what is your goal?
My goal is to teach my kids success. That's what I want to teach them. And in order to be successful at something, you have to really hone into that to be successful. So regardless of anything else, if you look at successful kids, they have a higher level of confidence. They achieve higher in different things like that. It's a mindset. So to be put into something and spread them out into a whole bunch of different things, we are so in this world across the board, everybody is into that mediocrity. They're okay with being just good at stuff. And then there's people that set themselves beyond that and saying, you know what? I'm not okay with being good. I want to be great. So if I'm trying to teach my kid that greatness is within you, as they would say, we know what it takes in order to be great. So if we really have to really think about it with our kids, it's like, what is greatness? Like when I did that deal with that Bo Bassett kid, man, I was so inspired by this kid. I was like, you can teach adults right now how to be successful just with your mind frame. He said, one bad technique is too many. And what he said by that means if you set yourself out and you say, okay, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go and train Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That one morning that you wake up and you're like, I don't think I want to do it that day. That's one time too much.
Okay, so but we talked about this last one of the previous shows. He's got two brothers that are phenomenal wrestlers that get his ass up too. Like if he's not feeling it, they will make him rise to the occasion. If one of the other ones are not feeling it, the two of them, Bo Bassett and the other one, will help him get up and grind. It's easier when you talk about, remember what is it? The village thing. It takes a village. That's his village. His dad and his two brothers are his village.
So that's the only way he can be successful is if he has that.
It's not just that, but I'm simply saying that it's a little bit easier to get up when you know you have a brother that's ready to smash you and talk trash to you the rest of the day.
Well,
who lives in your house.
I understand that, but when when I talked to the brothers, they said they are feeding on him. They said Bo is the one that gets up.
Absolutely.
Bo's the one that does so they're following his lead. So of course they're getting better because of him. So he's the leader in this pack. And that's why he's the most successful one there.
But then who's the leader of Bo?
His dad.
Okay. And the two boys follow the same thing. So I guess what I'm saying is,
so now I'm the dad.
Then be the dad. Be the one that says, hey, like be the one that shuts it down. Says, look, do you want to play football? Yes or no? It's pretty as simple. It's as simple as that. Rich is making it very clear. Ollie goes to wrestling for fun. You don't like that word? You're the fun police. We get it. Okay, so we're moving on. Like he's doing it for fun. At 10
years old, we can be fun.
At 10 years old. But he knows what the goal is. He's had Ollie write it down. The goal is to play professional baseball. That's the goal. And if that's what Miles wants to do, if he wants to play in the league, if he wants to go to college and play, then write it down. Has he written it down yet?
He has.
He talked about it?
We went through all of it.
Then what are we talking about? We spend an hour now talking about him when the goal was right in front of you. Well, if that's the goal, then everything else needs to go to the side.
There's 10 is different. There's things that I think fun is important, man. And there's things that you have to do. Look, there's several successful people that they weren't the best at what they did, but what they got from wrestling, what they got from whatever it is that they were competitive with and enjoyed, just because you're not out there, I don't think any parent or most parents don't want their kids to be mediocre. Not around here. I haven't seen that.
No.
So, but we've also seen kids not be good.
Yeah.
But I don't look at that kid. I think there's a bigger picture. We all want our kids to be the stars. You want them to be the high school quarterback, the prom king, all those great things and have that great life. But I still think there's a lot to learn from what happens if you don't have that.
Do you think
is your life now? He's just gonna.
Take him out back, put a bullet in his head.
Be a regular dude now. You know what I mean? And but I don't know.
I got a question for you. Do you guys think that anything's attainable? Do you think that anyone can make it? Like
no.
there was that thing where Arnold Schwarzenegger said, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you have to pick your parents. So some kids just don't have that ability.
Not in this day and age. All you got to do is just pick up the testosterone and the HGH. Bobby. Let's not beat around the bush.
There are limitations, though. But
are there certain things that you just can't do? Because I keep going back to some of these kids that I talk to, and the reason why I do it with these kids is because I really want to know what it takes. Because if like Miles will tell me about, this is so-and-so kid, he's a 5-star, and this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, what are you thinking that made this kid this way? Do you think that this kid just had that natural ability that we just kind of tweaked in order to do it? Like, why is that kid that So that's why I'm asking all these other kids, and I ask them this straightforward. Every one of them, I say, why are you better than everyone else? And most of the kids are like, they get no, this is not the platform for you to be modest. Why are you better than everybody else? And every one of them say, because I work hard and I surround myself with great people.
Everyone works hard though, Bobby.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Look, in their mind, they do. Everybody
In
look,
their
no,
mind,
okay, stop.
but
No, stop.
reality.
When I take that, everybody works hard. When you get to the league, when you get to that upper league, like everyone's working hard. If they're not working hard, how'd they get there? You're saying it's all genetics?
No. When they get to league, it's because of the work that they put in.
Yeah, okay.
The guys that didn't make it, they're like, well, I worked. Man, I remember wrestling tournaments. I would go to wrestling tournaments. I would win it. And then I would listen to this dude. It's like, man, I worked my butt off to get here. I was like, you didn't work harder than me. And then on top of it, my coach used to say this when we were going to the Olympic Training Center. He used to say, you know what? A lot of you guys, the day before the tournament, you're going to go in the mirror. You got to look yourself in the eye. And of course, you try to tell yourself, yeah, I did this and I did this, I did this. But you know damn well that last week when you were out partying with your buddies, you know that 2 weeks ago when you were supposed to be doing the extra workouts, you weren't doing them. Everyone that's been successful, they say, you know what? Those times where I could have lapsed and went this direction, I didn't. I stayed on path, and that's why they were successful.
But not everything is attainable. Let's just be honest. Look, my ass was never going to make the NBA. Let's just be real.
Well, not the NBA.
But the thing is, like you were asking, is you just asked that question: is anything attainable by anyone, or is there some sort of blessing, like in terms of genetics? Yes. I mean, look, I probably would never play professional volleyball. It's just not going to happen. NBA, probably never going to play.
Could you be in the baseball professional baseball player?
Baseball player, possibly.
100%. 100%. If I started you out as young, you're an athlete, Josh, and you're an athlete.
If you saw my family, you wouldn't be saying that.
But you are. I've seen you. You're an athlete, and you have a huge ego, so you could be definitely be.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm sorry, it's a good thing.
No cameras.
To believe in you, to believe in yourself that much, it's something. So if you took it all the way back to when you were young, and your dad was just, we're playing baseball, throwing it and hitting it, throwing it, and all the way through it. 100% you would have been a professional baseball player. 100%. 100%. There are limitations. Like if you're not tall enough, sure, you're not going to make it to NBA. But for parents, if like I've seen it so much, if you take a kid, they're raw. They're just feeding for knowledge, and you just start pitching them. You see all kinds of studies. You take a kid, you put them in front of a TV, and they sit there and watch this. They sit there and watch it go all the time, and then you start working on these skills. They can be highly successful to a professional level when they get to that level if you teach them all the way through. Most of the time, we don't do that, especially here in the United States. We have so many things that we're taking our kids around doing that they never really hone into anything. And we're like, well, hope Johnny's good at this, but then after that, we're going to put him in this, and we'll put him in this, and put him in this, and put him in this. But if we really said, hey, you know what? This is what I do. This is what we're going to be successful at, and we're going to take this path, and that's where we're going to go. The probabilities of success, I think, are probably like in the 80 to 90% that you can be successful.
The one benefit of with my son right now, he plays pretty high level in both sports, lacrosse and soccer. But he also said to me just like 2 weeks ago, he's like, you know, I probably should choose a sport next year. I'm like, son, not yet. I'm not doing it right now. I'm not doing it at 10 years old. I'll wait till he's about 12. I'll push 13, but I think 12. 12 is a good age. He'll be 11 next year. He just turned 10. He'll be 11 next year. We'll be able to get through this whole next season. I think at 12 years old, we'll get a better idea. Look, his body will also start to fill out, and then we'll kind of have a better understanding of where he'll be at. Yeah. Like the mentality right now, I can tell my son is a young 10-year-old. Like he's in terms of he still likes joking around with his friends when they're in line. Coach is talking. Shut up. Like it's like this whole, like focus on what is going on. I mean, I know they're 10, and that's very difficult. But at the time, it's like hearing him get in the car and go, it's a lot. We go to practice here. We go to practice there. It's like he doesn't have a day off. He has Friday nights off, and that's it. And that's only now recently happening. So he has something every single day. This last weekend, we had to choose between lacrosse tournament and soccer tournament. So we went to lacrosse tournament in Austin. But it was like, we ran into Tim Kennedy, by the way. He says hi.
Yeah, he's a big, he's big. We talked about this big lacrosse dad.
Yeah, so his son played against my son. Their team beat my son's team in the semifinals. Good team though, real good team. We lost to them in the finals the weekend before, so it sucked. But losing to Tim twice.
I think there's a whole nother. What you want to be the best. You want to compete every time you get out there. But I think we're also missing something that we need to make them the most well-rounded. This is where they grow up. You're going to be an athlete till maybe you're 30.
Well, different levels though too. Our kids are 10, your kids are 15.
But just overall, like this, everything we focus on, everything we're emphasizing, everything we're stressing ourselves about, because we're giving you a hard time today.
Yeah.
You know that him and I go through it every day as well. We're in our own heads, but maybe just what are their grades like? You know, that
That's the
that
number
might even
one
be
thing.
more important than
Yeah.
how
That's-
good are they.
That's not might be. That is 100%.
that's-
Because if you're not making the grades, you're not playing the sport in
Sure,
high
100.
school.
All right.
Yeah.
Same thing in college.
Well, that's what helped me keep grades. Because I was like, yeah, I have to have good grades in order to wrestle. So I
Right.
stay with it.
Like we can't lose sight of.
Balance.
That's right. See, I think the two, you said balance a lot. I've said focus a lot today. Those are the two words that kind of guide me that I try to use, balance and focus. Because even for me every day, not just as a parent, but just like you said, waking up, oh my God, I got 50 things to do today.
Yeah.
But what's the focus, right? So maybe that's helpful. Balance
Yeah.
and focus.
And so this goes all the way back to the beginning because where we started. When I asked this lady and she said the balance thing, I was like, you know what? It's always the grass is always greener on the other side, right? Because some of the people that were balancing, because like I look back at some of the guys that I went to high school with, and they were like, oh, I remember Bobby. Bobby was like, oh, like I was working out all the time, running, and I mean I was doing everything all the time, like. I was a workhorse, not drinking. I didn't party. I didn't do any of that stuff when I was in high school. I was that kid that was doing all the work. So I was laser focused on something. And I took myself to the level that I'm at right now. And some of those guys, I look back at those guys and I was like, man, you know what? They had a good time in college. They were partying. They were life of the party. There were some pictures and everything like that. So there was a balance all the way across. And I'm not saying that we're in a bad place either way. And I still look at it because like some of the people, they're married. They have the regular like 9 to 5 and they have that regular life, but they're still happy. And then they look at me and they're like, damn, you just went to Italy and you have this and you have this and this and this. And they're looking at that. And we're both looking at each other because that's what we first started with when I was talking to you guys is having, you know, that marriage and that family structure because there's a lot of happiness there. So I think we kind of look back at each other and we say, you know, this is good, but then this is good. And then we always think that the other way is great. And I think that's what it all boils down to because really in order to be successful and be great at something, you know you have to laser focus. I used to call a couple buddies of mine that were like Olympians and stuff like that. And I talked to them because I was going through this early on with Miles and my kids. And I was like, what do you do with your kids? And I said, because we know what it takes to be successful. I was like, man, should I be getting Miles up at 5 o'clock in the morning and taking him through workouts and busting his chops and getting on him and like really pushing
High school,
him?
yes.
Or even younger, even a little bit younger, even junior high. Should I be doing that? And he was like, hell yeah. He said, you know what? My kids at some point in time kind of resented me a little bit, but now his son was graduated. His son just got a college scholarship and everything like that. And he looked back and he said, Dad, thank you for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So now it was like he cut out all those other things and he really laser focused. So he put all of this effort into something and he became successful in it. So it's like it's both are like we're arguing points that I think are basically the same. It's just where you find happiness. You can find happiness with anything. But do you not force your kid, do you push your kid into that greatness? Because if you do, it has to be here. And we got to cut out some of those other things because there's not a balance when you're trying to be super successful. There's not balance. Not one person that's at a very, very high level said, oh yeah, I had balance. I just did this, I did this, I did this. And then I did all these things recreational. They said, hey, boom. But these people that were balanced and they say, you know what? I had a lot of fun when I was in college. I experienced college time. I went out there and drinking with my friends. I had these experiences. I joined a fraternity and I had a lot of fun. I wasn't a national champion there. I played a little sport and everything like that. I quit, but I got my degree and everything like that. So we both had happiness. It's just that with our kids, it's like, what do you do? Like, where do you push them? Where do you tell them that they should go? I mean, you can't make the decision for them, but we know if we're successful people, we know that, hey, this route is the route to success.
To wrap up this episode, I guess what it comes down to is what do you determine makes you successful? Spending time with your family and your kids, being able to have a wife and kids at home and doing all the things with them and having a successful 9-to-5 job or whatever that is. Or is it your self-driven goals that get you to where you want it to be? When you were playing baseball, playing soccer, playing football, whatever it was, that's how you determine your success. It's up to that person or that child or that parent and the two of them to join together to figure out what success is to them. You talked about being rich. What makes you rich? Is it the time with your family? Is it the time you spent on vacation with them? Is it the time that you spent at the table with them? Or is it the success, the things that make you rich financially? The house, the big house, the expensive cars, the trips to Italy.
The ability
Okay,
to take
like-
care of the ability to take care of a lot of people.
All of those things. Is that what you determine makes you rich? It really comes down to you. I guess we all have different perspectives on that. For my own personal satisfaction today, I'm going to say we figured out one thing today. Bobby is the no fun police, and that's really what it comes down to. So another episode of the Dad Dojo. Rich Chow, Bobby Lashley, myself, Josh Thompson. Hit the comments down below. Let us know what you guys would like us to talk about. I've seen a couple people comment on some of our past videos that we posted. We just dropped 8 episodes, so we're on our 9th one and coming up or around that somewhere. So I want to make sure you guys are enjoying this episode. Hit the comments. Let us know. Hit the thumbs up and the bell and notifications and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Another episode of Dad Dojo.